Okay, Intro 198A requires side guards to be installed on city trucks and commercial garbage trucks. Sponsors are council members Corey Johnson, Idanis Rodriguez, and Julissa Ferreras Copeland. Side guards are installed on large vehicles to prevent accidents involving pedestrians, to protect pedestrians and cyclists from being caught under the vehicle if there is a collision. This is part of the larger effort that we believe in under our Vision Zero policy. The goal of Vision Zero is to end traffic fatalities. In the United Kingdom, widespread adoption of side guards helped to reduce fatalities and to reduce severe injuries in side impacts. And the impact was extraordinary: 61% reduction for bicyclists, 20% reduction for pedestrians. DCAS has already begun installing side guards on over 200 city trucks already on the job. This bill takes this effort to the next level to ensure that all city-owned trucks and commercial garbage trucks are outfitted. Over 12,000 total vehicles will be affected. As an example, using every tool at our disposal to make our streets safer. I want to thank Speaker Melissa Mark Viverito for her support, Councilmember Julissa Ferreras for her support. Now I'd like you to hear from our DCAS Commissioner, Stacey Cumberbatch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And many thanks to Speaker Mark Viverito, Council Members Johnson, Ferreras Copeland, and Rodriguez for sponsoring this legislation that builds on the city's commitment to creating safe streets for the people of the City of New York. And I want to especially thank Deputy Commissioner Keith Kerman from my staff and the DCAS Fleet team for your effort on this, as well as DCAS Fleet initiatives support sustainability, performance reporting, and managing day-to-day service on a citywide basis. We know that side guards work and have been effectively used in Europe for many years. Beginning in 2014, DCAS launched a pilot program to prove that side guards can work here in New York City. We're deeply committed to ensuring that the city's fleet is outfitted with side guards. We look forward to working with the council to make sure that this legislation is implemented. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, once again, Councilmember Corey Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner. I want to thank my dear friend and colleague, who's been an incredible chair of the Transportation Committee, Councilmember Idanis Rodriguez. By requiring the installation of side guards on all heavy-duty trucks in the city's fleet, this legislation will save lives. In New York City, trucks are only 3.6% of vehicles on the road, but collisions with trucks account for 12.3% of pedestrian fatalities and 32% of bicyclist fatalities. Earlier this year, as was said, the de Blasio administration took an important step by piloting retrofits on over 240 vehicles as part of this important Vision Zero initiative. Under our bill, all large vehicles in the city fleet, including Department of Sanitation collection trucks, as well as city-licensed waste hauling vehicles weighing over 10,000 pounds, will be required to have side guards by January 1st, 2024. Specialized vehicles on which side guard installation is impractical would be exempt from this requirement. Owners or operators of trade waste vehicles, private haulers that would fail to install side guards would be subject of penalties of up to $10,000 per vehicle. As was said by the mayor, side guards have been adopted successfully in Japan, in the UK, and in the city of Boston. So New York is a leader on this. The only place that's beaten us is Boston. I only root for Boston when I'm cheering for the Red Sox.
You just outed yourself.
I did that. I did that. I've outed myself earlier in life as well. I did that to stand in solidarity with you as a Red Sox fan.
Thank you.
And as a side guards fan. I want to thank the mayor and Councilmember Rodriguez for their partnership on this issue, as well as the many advocates and families who came forward to share their stories. Together, we can achieve a city without pedestrian and cyclist fatalities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now, the chair of the Council's Transportation Committee, Idanis Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Well, first of all, thank you, our Mayor de Blasio, for his leadership on Vision Zero, and most importantly, for on this day, for be like a strong leader fighting for rent regulation. So New York City always will be very grateful how hard you work, especially for working class and middle class. Today, our city takes the largest step forward towards achieving Vision Zero since the passage of the first package of legislation last year. Early this year, after a private sanitation truck claimed the life of Hoyer Jacobs, the first cyclist death of 2015, I call upon the administration to restart the conversation surrounding the implementation of side guards in Intro 198, introduced by Councilmember Corey Johnson, Julissa Ferreras, and myself. In my statement, I pointed to the fact that should a side guard have been installed, hired might be with us today. My call for action did not go unheeded. Only weeks later, Mayor de Blasio announced a new city policy to require the installation of side guard on 4,500 city vehicles larger than 10,000 pounds. The legislation the council passed and the mayor will sign today will require the policy by law, but also expand it to about 60,000 private garbage carriers. The vehicle that claimed the life of Hyatt Jacobs. Since Hyatt Jacobs' death, in addition to New Yorkers and identified 43-year-old man in Morris Heights on April 16 and an 80-year-old Muhammad Ali in South Ozono Park just a few weeks ago on April 16, have been struck and killed in entire preventable accidents. According to a study conducted by the Transport for London, installing side guard on truck reduced deaths by 61% and serious injuries by 13% for cyclists. With this piece of legislation, New York becomes a nation leader requiring side guard for the largest city fleet in the nation and expanding that requirement to the broadest in the nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
On this, it's okay. I just want to.
Because you're a Red Sox.
I just want to thank Kelly Taylor and Russell Murphy and Louis Cholden Brown and all the other staff members that worked in this. I got caught off guard talking about outing myself, and so I forgot to thank the important people that made this happen. Thank you very much.
All right, we have two individuals who signed up for public testimony: Robert Martineau and Paul White.
I'd like to thank you, Mayor de Blasio and City Councils for passing Bill, or to pass Bill 198. My name is Robert Martineau. I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate you, Mayor de Blasio, and the City of New York for passing this bill, making side guard underride protection devices mandatory in the city to support your Vision Zero initiative. Over the last 6 months, our company, Airflow, has worked very closely with Alex Epstein of Volpe, Jack Grasick of DCAS, Keith Kerman as well, and Mahan Jassy as well. We've worked very hard to install the side guards on the 240 vehicles, and we take great pride in working with everybody here and certainly advancing that initiative. Mayor de Blasio's Vision Zero initiative, making New York City streets safer, greener, and more accessible, has further been promoted by the selection of side guards for your city trucks. Our side guards will save lives, reduce injuries, and preventing pedestrian, cyclists, and motorcyclists from falling into the exposed space between the front and rear wheels of these large vehicles. Our mission, like the City of New York, remains very consistent. We look to end serious traffic-related injuries and death, as every life is worth protecting. We therefore are very excited to work with you, Council and DCAS, and everyone involved to make your city's streets much, much safer. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't be shy, Paul.
Thank you, Mayor. So on June 22nd, 2005, a young man, 24-year-old man by the name of Andrew Morgan, was biking to his job as a waiter at Blue Ribbon Restaurant in the West Village. At the corner of Houston and Elizabeth, he was blindsided by a turning truck. Andrew was doing nothing wrong, but the truck driver didn't see Andrew, and Andrew got sucked under the rear wheels of the truck and was killed. His family came forward, and they were one of the first families to work with us 10 years ago in bringing working to bring much of this to fruition. So it was almost 10 years ago that Andrew died, and I'm going to call his dad after we're done here. I'm going to tell him what you've done, Mr. Mayor, working with the City Council, because even though he knows he can't bring his son back, he wants to prevent that from happening to other people. And this is, as we've heard, such a powerful preventative step. The best thing to do, of course, is to avoid crashes in the first place, but these side guards are like airbags for pedestrians and cyclists, and they really prevent that. And with other Vision Zero initiatives, you never quite know the lives you save. With the speed limit reduction and other things, you never quite know who the people were who didn't die because of your work. But with this, when anyone hits that guard and they bounce off, instead of going under the wheels, we will know very well that we have indeed saved additional lives. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Let's sign the bill.